Hello, my little piggies. Welcome back to I Am a Bit of an Expert, a Peppa Pig podcast. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and joining me as always, back in the land of the living, back in civilization, it's my co-host, Matt Frost. How you going, mate?
I'm good, thanks, Josh. How are you?
I'm good. You're not north. You're back home with the family, back home with the piggies.
I'm back home with my little piggies. It's a little bit cooler back here, but yeah, very happy to be home with my little pigs.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have been happy to have Dad back in the house.
Yeah, the novelty's already worn off, but yeah, they were very happy.
It was a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you sort of do that thing where you didn't let them know when you were coming home exactly, just sort of turned up out of the blue, or they were quite aware when you were turning up?
No, we have done that, but no, it's sort of because I talk to them every night. They're aware of how many sleeps it is. So yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. Well, it's good to get the family back together, and we've got the family back together. You've got the extended family back together in this one. So it's Chloe's puppet show. What goes down in Chloe's puppet show, mate?
well, we've got a returning guest for a start. We've got cousin Chloe's back.
Yeah, not the famous Cousin Chloe episode again, everybody. Hold your memes, okay? So
Patience.
It'll come.
Yeah. And she's I must admit she's in a lot better mood than she was last time.
How old do you reckon Chloe is? Did we talk about this last time? We sort of established she's about 7 or 8. You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon 7 or 8. Yeah, she seems a little bit older than my middle piggy, who's 6. So,
going on 15, sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. They do enter the tweeniness a bit earlier these days. So, yep. So yeah, Chloe's in it, and it centres around a visit to Daddy Pig's brother's house, and the hijinks ensue.
So they just call him Uncle Pig. I'm just trying to remember. Was it Brother Pig? I'm just trying to remember what they call him. Did they call him Uncle Pig? I do like that he has a sort of a beard to distinguish a slightly darker beard and no glasses. But essentially, you can tell they're brothers.
Yeah, you can. You can definitely tell they're brothers. I think that it's subtle enough that we.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Now Daddy Pig's the younger brother, so
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been established. Yep. So he has to wear the lighter teal onesie, and the older brother gets to wear the slightly darker teal onesie. So is it Uncle Pig and Auntie Pig? I'm just trying to remember. This one sort of was the first one that I revisited, so I'm just trying to remember the minor details and things.
Yeah, Uncle and Auntie Pig.
Yeah. Which is weird for them to call each other that, behind closed doors, because you'd think that in their own context of their own family, he would be Daddy Pig and she would be Mummy Pig, but obviously they're just indulging the names.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rabbit hole, really, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, we don't, you don't need to fall down that rabbit hole. But, so they pop around for a visit, and, they've got the, they've got the house on the hill like everybody else, in this place. And Chloe, takes the kids upstairs to a room and basically sort of says, we're gonna start doing a bit of a puppet show. So she's got quite a good setup going up in her room, doesn't she?
It's excellent, and she's already made a puppet of herself and one of her daddy, who's Uncle Pig, and she helps George and Peppa make their own puppets.
So what's the puppet? Your kids like? You got puppets floating around at your place?
Yeah, we did have. Yeah, we bought some little finger puppets for them when we were in Melbourne once, but they didn't take off. But what was very big in our house was shadow puppets. So,
like on the wall.
Kind of. The kids have got bunks, and we used to hang a white sheet down from the top bunk to the bottom bunk, and before they went to bed, they used to go behind there with a torch,
yep.
and use their action figures and soft toys, etc., to put on puppet shows like that.
Who's action figures?
They do have their own, but yes, some of my childhood toys were used, and that's probably the pot calling the kettle black there, I'd say. So,
yeah, if you saw, yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, at least as are out of their boxes, Josh. So
there are a few out of the box here. Yeah, well, we've got a few sort of finger puppets and things as well. We've got a Goldilocks book that has finger puppets, so it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And to be honest, it's not an amazing book. It's not a great retelling. I don't think personally the story, like I know the story, but this weather does not very good. But the puppets are quite cool. But they always looked a bit weird. And then we were at a market quite recently, and we found another one of the books. I can't remember what the story was. It was another story, but it was the same brand, the same thing, and it had the puppets as well. But those finger puppets are really high quality, and I think that what had happened on the original we had, someone had just lost the puppets and they decided to remake them themselves. So there were just a couple of, they just they'd been drawn on kind of haphazardly, because then the ones that we had on the second book, the puppets were really intricate and quite impressive. But we had Olive went to a robot puppet show over the school holidays break, just because there's stuff on during school holidays at the Arts Centre here in Melbourne, and she was obsessed with the idea of this robot puppet show because we showed her a video of it on YouTube to see if she'd be interested in going. And then, of course, you make the mistake where you show her something 2 months out before you buy the tickets, and then every week it's is it the robot puppet show? Is it the robot puppet show? Is it the robot puppet show? And she talked about it for weeks and weeks, and then finally the robot puppet show rolled around, and I came home from work like, how was it? She's like, oh yeah, it was all right. It was fine. It was fine. And then she just wanted to watch the YouTube video again of it. So it was probably just an excuse to look at the phone.
Yeah, that might have been the reason. It's funny you should say that. We hyped up a puppet show that was getting put on in my parents' small town for Easter, and we sort of saw puppet show at the local youth sort of thing. I think it was at church. Did
Spinal Tap play before it as well?
Yeah, and it was a slog.
Yeah, right.
The kids enjoyed it, but it was a hard watch.
You don't really get the old Punch and Judy these days or anything. That was always my go-to. I think Punch and Judy's been sort of wisely moved into obscurity where it belongs.
A cultural relic.
Yeah, I don't know whether they've rebooted Punch and Judy, to make it a little bit more appropriate. But anyway, so the Chloe's busting out the puppets. She's got an Uncle Pig and she's got a Chloe one as well, and then she gets Pepper and George to sort of paint their own puppets and things. And not a bad effort. Having a little painting station in a bedroom, that wouldn't fly at our house.
No,
paper down on the ground, but yeah, that's just asking for trouble.
Oh yeah, that's we had a bit of a painting session yesterday, and I misinterpreted old clothes with a good top. So something.
You go away for a little bit and you're off your game.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
I don't know what's new. I don't know what's old.
Yeah, exactly. It looked old to me, but yeah. Sarai goes, no, this is after the fact. No, Mummy really likes that one. And it's just, yeah. Well, where were you 5 minutes ago when I put Sabine in it? Yeah,
on the front of it. So then Chloe makes a little Mr. Dinosaur puppet as well. So I mean, we always touch on is Mr. Dinosaur, a brand or an official thing, but this is definitely a homemade Mr. Dinosaur puppet.
She might get a cease and desist.
she might get a cease. Yeah. Mr. Dinosaur Corp have got some very litigious people there, making sure. Probably just like the Peppa Pig people do too. If you start trying to flog Peppa Pig unlicensed merch.
Yeah, I'm sure our corporate overlords are very understanding. So
yeah. If we ever attempt some merchandise, if you want some, t-shirts, let us know. We do. It is something we could probably look at. So they basically sort of decide that they're going to do a little puppet show and things for Mummy and Daddy, and they're all sort of sitting around the dinner table having spaghetti for lunch, and there's some nice red wine that's been busted out for a 2:00 boozy lunch here. I'm looking at the clock here in the kitchen, so they've got the they've got the spaghetti out. All the adults are having a nice afternoon drop of red.
Yeah, that is definitely red wine. There's no mistaking that.
Considering there's no sauce on the spaghetti, you might need to have a glass of red to swirl it around with.
Yeah. And the brothers aren't shy of asking for some extra.
Yeah.
So they certainly fill up, and Daddy Pig. We're doing this in the right order, of course. But Daddy Pig has been sledging his brother behind his back in the car on the way over there by saying that his brother's going to fall asleep after dinner like he does every time. So
yeah, that's right. It's a nice little setup there. Now, just looking at Auntie Pig and Mummy Pig, I mean, we're talking about Daddy Pig and Uncle Pig looking the same. I mean, maybe, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the ladies are sisters as well. Maybe they've just gone and married each other's brothers and sisters and things. One of those, those families that all marry each other. Because Mummy Pig is basically the same as eyelashes apart and pink dresses. They're looking pretty similar as well, but. I don't know. I don't know how big the gene pool is in the pig community.
Yeah, well, there's not really multiple families of pigs, and so maybe it's
you just get what you get.
Yeah, and if that ends up on the weirdest double date ever, well, fair enough.
Yeah, right. So, well, you better date my sister because this is it. There's one set of brothers and one set of sisters that you can date in the piggy gene pool, maybe. But anyway, they go back upstairs for the puppet shows and things. And I sort of remember as a kid, you'd put on little shows and you'd tell the parents, when you go stay at your cousin's place, you'd tell the parents to come in and look at the things you've been doing and stuff. So that kind of rung true. And then they kind of knock out the little performance, don't they?
Yeah, it's pretty harmless until they start to put some edgy material in it,
dropping some truth bombs.
Yeah, and I think Uncle Pig's a little bit miffed at the size of his puppet's tummy too. So yeah, looks like sort of fat shaming runs in the family.
Does look to scale though. Yeah, there's a little moment where he does the exact same sort of Daddy Pig look down at his tummy, a bit sort of a bit self conscious. But well, it's if the pot's black, all that kind of stuff.
If the shoe fits, wear it.
If the shoe fits, yeah. Daddy Pig's loving it too. He thinks it's hilarious.
Yes, and but then. Sort of Pepper decides to jump in on the act and starts to sledge Uncle Pig as well, saying that he's asleep after dinner and snoring. And
where'd she get that from, I wonder?
Yeah, she basically breaking the family oath of not mentioning it. And Mummy Pig is aghast. She's mortified. So,
and there are all a few glasses of wine in here too, because she's worried it could all sort of kick off. Everyone's a bit loose, so a bit too much wine at lunch.
Yeah, who's driving the little red car home?
Some home truths could be. Well, it's going to be. They're going to have to sleep it off, I think. Obviously.
And speaking
of
Christmas,
when speaking of Daddy Pig and Uncle Pig in the back row of the puppet show have just nodded off. So whether it's a combination of too much spaghetti, too much red wine. Yeah, or just I don't think it's a indicative of the quality of the puppet show.
No, definitely not. And then they are sort of nastily woken up, and it was the puppet show started or finished, or So, much laughter at the two, well, daddies and uncles. So.
Yeah, no, it was a good little episode, this one. I mean, we always like when they stretch out to some new characters or some different characters and things, and get the pig extended family.
Yeah,
it's good, and then also normally it's sort of Granny and Grandpa Pig, so it's sort of moving in a slightly different direction. I don't know whether we ever end up seeing Mummy Pig's family. We'll just have to. I know we'll get there when we get there, if we ever get there.
Yeah, I know. Uncle and Auntie Pig and Chloé feature again a few times. So
Yeah.
so there's a couple of pretty good ones coming up with them, but I'd probably say that since we don't see Daddy Pig's parents, unless who knows where we're going with it, is everyone just the same family here? So
yeah, is that where they end up? That's the cruel twist at the end.
Is that why Pepper's eyes are on one side of her face, or
well, all of them? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how you can't get walking and talking pigs unless you get a bit crazy with the gene pool, mate.
Yeah. Well, mutation's the source of all evolution. So,
well, there you go. But yeah, any other closing thoughts on this one?
No, I it's nice to know that Chloé isn't a full-time villain after our sort of introduction. So that was probably my big takeaway. And and that Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig don't mind a red. So that's
I hear that. Yep. I had one myself just before we started, so although it's not 2 PM here, so I thought it was a bit more appropriate. But yeah, all right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can catch us at Peppa Pig Pod. Keep downloading and sending messages and things, and hi to new people who've jumped on, and we've had a few nice messages lately, which has been really good. And we'll be back next week with this one. Been looking forward to this. Daddy gets fit.
Oh, I think there's going to be some harsh truths coming in this one. So
that's how we like it. That's how we like it. All right. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you, Josh, and good night, my little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo. Bong, bing, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo.